Let's rock and roll, Quinn.
Hit it.
All right, we're going live. Oh, we're live. Oh, I'm waiting for my phone.
We're
to freak
doing
out.
it.
We're doing it live. Let's see if it's. Oh, all right. Here we go. Oh, we got 2 people in the chat, dog. All right, let's go. Hello, people. Oh, I hear myself in my own phone. I should turn the volume off. Anyway, guys, welcome.
Internet.
Welcome to the
We're
internet.
here.
We have the lovely Mylo Quinn with us tonight. And if you know the channel, you know he's been on multiple times. He's the face of many different bands. So you can say his name, what he does, this project, all that jazz. I just hope you don't make another project, and then I'm going to have that on, you know. Just kidding.
I'm pretty sure my wife would have to have a serious talk with me if I was like, maybe I was thinking of starting something else.
Your wife's like, man, I have no time for you. Like,
Yeah. She's like, I did not sign up for this.
so anyway, you can tell the people what your name is, what you do, and all the jazz.
Yeah. My name's Quinn. I write solo music as Mylo Quinn. And then I also play bass and sing in Living Machines, as well as scream and front in the band Pale Sky,
There we go.
which are both much heavier than what you're about to listen to.
Yeah. No, and this is cool to me because shout outs to Quinn for holding it down, because originally we were supposed to do this back on Wednesday of last week, but I was a terrible host and said I can't do it. And the reason why is this band here.
Shout out Loathe.
Shout out Loathe.
And the week before it is because I was a terrible guest and got a cold from going to Slipknot.
We are really holding it down on the metal front here, so nothing but love and respect, for that. Which, by the way, as a complete side tangent, funnily enough, you said Slipknot, and Corey Taylor, his son. And I believe I don't know.
Yes, I've heard about his son's band.
They opened for that Loads show. So
yeah,
I got to see them. So that was great. And
they were sick.
And it's so funny. I'll save the tangents for when we actually do all this stuff. But I always find it funny that and I was telling my mom this. Shouts to Mama Z. But I was telling her the best thing about being in metal music is that, like, you could hear a guy screaming in your face and telling you to, like, move the pit and all that sort of stuff. And then they're like, after the show, you go say what's up to him. They're like, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for really supporting our band. That's awesome. Love you. This is great. Thank you so much. You want to pick up a shirt? Oh, man. Yeah, we have
so
larges.
Wholesome.
It's so wholesome.
So
and it's
wholesome.
Great. And they're screaming about whatever it may be, and is by far one of the best, like, dichotomies of metal music. So.
Oh yeah, it's all like you just get up there and just get so mad, and then you come off and you're like, yeah, just hanging out. Tour's cool.
Really
the food here, I like the people here. They're so nice.
I'm just really about the zen. I'm really feeling the vibes of life right now. And then meanwhile, they're like, shut the fuck up, let's go. Like, like, I want to see you move. Like, this shit, oh my god, it's great. I love it. So, anyway, that was my side tangent for this live track by track, so I hope you guys appreciate it. But, like I said, I had asked Quinn to do this quite a bit ago, and if you haven't checked out his newest record, like, go give it a listen. I'll leave a link in the description to go give it some love.
Recommend. You should listen to it.
Can recommend. It has, I believe, has no screaming in it. I am not 100% sure on that. But
Actually, there is, but it's not me. That's
it's Joel.
Father Joel from Being as an Ocean sneaks one in there.
Yeah. Okay, so there is a little screaming, but not
there is one for the boys. Yeah.
He's like, I'm in a like metal melodic hardcore band. I gotta show my chops. So big shouts to Joel. But comparatively to your other projects, because I've obviously had Living Machines and Pale Sky on before. What made you want to go in this direction? I'm curious on this project comparatively to some of your other, heavier projects. Like, was this something always in like the back pocket of Quinn? You were like, oh man, I should really unleash this card. Solo artist, dude. That's the. How did that?
Just top of the deck.
Yeah,
just
top of the
straight.
deck. You place your card face down. No, that was a Yu-Gi-Oh joke for those who aren't familiar with that reference there.
Oh yeah,
but
shout out Heart of the Cards.
Heart of the Cards, baby. But how did you kind of come across like wanting to do the whole like solo music? I think I kind of heard a little bit of Drift, just from clips that you had posted and stuff, and just keeping up with the couple bands that you're in. What made you want to do this project? Is this something that's always been kind of in the thought process of Quinn, or do you have like, you're just like, man, there's only so many hours in the day and I just need to have another project to work on? And just I need to know where your mental status is at right now.
Yeah, I just make more projects to torture myself.
And your wife, apparently.
You got me. Yeah, red-handed. No, I think for me, like back in high school, I used to play some solo acoustic stuff. Very cool. Into Dallas Green and all that kind of, hitting up American Apparel, getting that fresh white tee, writing sad songs on acoustic guitar.
All right, excuse me.
Did that for a hot minute, and then basically from then on, I just did bands for the longest time. I was a DJ for a little bit, as we've chatted about in the past.
Oh yes,
but
yeah, I knew that.
Coming back to solo music, I think a part of me was maybe afraid to just step out and really push into this vein, because with a band, I mean, you have all your buds. It's loud. You got an instrument in your hands, so many different variables. Whereas when it's solo music, particularly this record, it's just me singing over beats. And yeah, there was like a real vulnerability and a fear that I had to just push past to really start doing it and see what would happen. But it was also like an old friend of mine was like, hey dude, low key, like, I think you're like really marketable. So you should probably just make music like by yourself for a bit. Like, your bands are cool.
Then you're like,
your bands are cool.
2 other bands. How much time do you think I have? And then you did it. Somehow you must freed up time somewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was mostly just writing it on the side for a bit, and then eventually it became a bit more serious for me. But yeah, I think it was just, I had a lot more to say musically that I wasn't saying. Yeah. And that's a big part of why I have a few different projects, is because Pale Sky, for example, is like a very specific vessel for particular emotions that need to go to that place. But I also have a softer side, and I need to be able to tap into that and express that as well.
You do have a heart. It's great. Oh my God.
I know. Contrary to popular belief, I do have a heart.
Yeah, contrary to most metal artists' belief is that, yes, we do in fact have hearts. In fact, they might be a little bit more sensitive than the average one. So,
yeah, true.
That's why we write.
Yeah, you want to hear grown men crying? Just listen to metal. It's so angry. They're just really sad.
To some degree, that is accurate. So, I definitely have caught myself. I'll be sitting here and I'll listen to a song, and man, the waterworks just come out. The vibes the vibes were too powerful. So
absolutely.
The waterworks are strong, but it was real. Like I said, what was really cool, comparatively to some of the other projects you've done so far, and I mean, like I said, the little bit of Drift that I heard, I was like, this is a lot different. Like, and I feel like it took you out of your comfort zone in like such a unique way. And I think for me personally, like, not knowing that from the background of like, oh yeah, I used to like just do acoustic jams, and I think we even talked about it too, like where your mindset sometimes isn't always in that sort of like, I need to be in a metal band and do this sort of like scream thing. And so I'm excited to, like, I have not listened to it. I have gone this whole time without listening to. This is fresh,
unfiltered live, raw reaction.
Raw. This is the real shit, So
Sick.
I am very excited because, like, I think for me, like, because even reading some of the like the bio stuff that I was able to find online, in relation to you doing like Mylo Quinn stuff, I was like, this is like a completely different animal, like in a way, like it's such a change of pace, and I guess I mean, obviously we can go more in depth with each song about like how you got the features, but like were you very cognitive about like which people you wanted to have on, and how did you kind of go about finding these people? Did you just ask them? Obviously Jenna's a major homie of the channel, so shouts to her. Costin, great, they're gonna be coming on soon, so big shouts. But how did you go about the process of finding these people to like, was it something that you were just like, man, I'm working on these like kind of like beat sort of style music, like definitely in the more like more chiller sort of range? Like, were you trying to kind of find people to put on these songs, or were they more so like happy coincidences where you're like, hey, I'm working on this, like I would love to have you on this track? I'm just curious on how you went about that.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of both. So Shalina on Drift, we went to high school together, and I've actually helped her in producing her solo music as well. So like we've been in studios with each other for a hot minute.
Oh, nice.
And then before this, like this entire record was even going to be an EP, they were all just singles. And then when I got about just over halfway through, I figured out a thread, and I wanted to tie it all together and then just compile them. Which is why the 3 main tunes all have features on them, because I was like, yeah, I'm just going to write singles and cross-pollinate with friends and that kind of thing. So yeah, so Shay I knew from high school. She's a super killer singer. Highly recommend everyone go check out. She just had a song come out, Blue. She has a bunch of other songs ready, locked and loaded in the canon, and they're killer.
Hey.
Jenna obviously goes without saying. She's been so great just to have around as a friend. I like, especially as I was exploring this space, like I would send stuff to her and she'd be brutally honest with me about it, and I'm like, yeah, cool, okay, I'll come back and we'll take that one again.
And then meanwhile,
and
you're
it's
just
great,
like wiping the tears off the floor and off your computer desk. You're like, man, she was really hard on me, but this is the
you need friends like that though.
Think of now.
For real, but like that's why I love Jenna, because I'll show her a track sometimes. She'll be like, yeah, like I don't know. And I'm like, word, okay, but she's honest with her feedback, and it actually really helped me find some of my sound for these first batches of songs, because I wrote, I don't know, 3 or 4 different ones before I started writing the EP.
Wow, all right.
And she helped me shape some of finding like my range, and like sent me artists to listen to, because like the thing is, I don't really listen to pop music. I just write it.
spoken like a true metal guy, you know.
Yeah, I'm like a metalhead who just writes pop. So I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having fun doing it. And then for Joel, I hit him up, and yeah, it was really cool. I mean, obviously I've been a Being as an Ocean fan for a super long time, so getting to work with him was just like a bucket list moment for me. It was so sweet, and he's just such a great guy and a true craftsman. Like, I asked him to do a feature, and he had reached out over email being like, this is funny timing because I actually want to start doing music over beats as well. And you're the first person to hit me up being like, hey, do you want to just like sing or do spoken word poetry over a beat? So I caught him at the right time, and he was really wanting to get into this kind of music. And then like he has his first solo song he put out as well. Highly recommend you guys go check it out. It's Joel Javan. But yeah, it's just been like friends, and then these strange cosmic moments of right place at the right time, and it all just kind of came together. He liked the song, and yeah, we just went down the rabbit hole with it.
It would be great if he was like, I didn't like the song, but I just wanted to be featured on a beat. So then he just like objectified it and just was like, you know, whatever. This one's for, you know. I'm kidding. No, I'm excited to listen to that one, because I know you did a lot of posting behind that one, and I definitely saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna savor this. I want Quinn to be here for when I experience Mylo Quinn in its full essence, you know. So
Yeah, I'm stoked. You get to go like the whole thing, top to bottom.
Top to bottom. That's what we do. It's
Very
the fresh takes. You know, I'm not usually known for that. If anything, I overachieve and listen to the album way too many times and just completely I wouldn't say burn myself out of it, but I just like think very in-depthly about it, and so I feel like this is like the complete opposite. So like feast or famine. That's how I realized that it just works out for this show.
Totally.
But very cool. And then I have to ask, and then we'll get into the songs, of course, that's why we're here. The name Mylo Quinn, obviously your name's Quinn. How did you come up with this like solo name here?
It's like the answer I give is just Quinn McGraw sounds like Tim McGraw, and we just don't play that game. Like that's literally it.
That's fair.
I was like, I'm too country out of the gate. Like I have to do something.
You have to wear the cowboy. You have to wear the cowboy hat and then just sing. You had to sing like a cowboy artist, but
it's right about dogs and tractors and stuff. Like
yeah, but then like the music is like pop beats, so then you have to sound like this, and then you like I love my tractor, and it's like in the background it's got some like 808s going on and like the beats pumping. You know, I'm just saying that's
like the country rap crossover stuff, which is like maybe the worst genre of music of all time.
Objectively, yeah.
Objectively, yeah. Like this isn't even up for debate. It just is. There's like mashups, Christmas music, and then country rap.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's the lowest. I mean, again, I am not a country stan, so that's very low on the totem pole for me already. So if you had to throw like, if you just thought, man, could we make country worse? Let's make it into rap. And
why,
then,
yes. Nope. Yes, we could.
Yes, we can. And it's country rap, guys, so don't do that.
Yeah.
Not that you shouldn't do it, just don't bring it here. No offense. Like, I just wouldn't want to have it here. But while I've offended all three people who love country rap, we're going to move it into the first track, which is Vice. You know, how did you go about creating this one? It seems very, I mean, we listened to it. I, got a little taste, pre-recording here. How long of a process did it take to make this beat here, like song? I don't know if there's any vocals because we made it about halfway through and then, we're just adjusting volume levels and such. So, how did you go about the process of making Vice, Maya?
Oh, this is, it's just like I just needed an intro track. That's it. I was like, okay, I have 4 songs and this needs to be an EP, so I guess I should have an intro.
This is the intro track.
This is the intro track. Also, I'm gonna eat chicken pizza and mute my mic while the songs play because I'm starving.
That's fair.
So just so you guys know, if you have chicken pizza at home, get in there. Now's the time.
And also, you mute your microphone. I don't want to hear you chewing into the
100%.
Even though it's just me.
This is the chicken pizza Mylo Quinn ASMR
podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 1. So anyway, guys, we're gonna get into Vice, and I'm gonna count it in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I like this. Very eerie.
Do this again. I don't wanna do this again.
A little digitalized voice.
The cycle starts again.
That's neat. I like that.
Do this again. I don't wanna do this again.
Kind of a little weekendy. The weekend. All right.
Cycle starts again. Do this again. I don't wanna do this again.
Nice layering. Wow.
Spinning round, the cycle starts again. Again.
Woo. Nice. Textures are on point. It's tight. All right, guys. That was track 1, Vice. That one
Vice
was,
is actually one slice of chicken pizza long.
that was I like how we're gonna clock this whole live track by track on how many pieces of chicken pizza does this take to listen to. Apparently
This
it's
song,
one.
how long is this song? Like 2.5
two,
slices.
two and a half two and a half chicken pieces. I can't even say it with a straight face. Anyway, getting back to Vice, I like that. That intro is super tight. It definitely had that kind of like, again, I know for if you had told me you weren't getting into like beat making or like pop like esque or pop adjacent music, I would have not. Yeah, I would have thought you've been doing this shit for a little bit, honestly. It really worked. I like the real like digitized like vocals. That was really nice. Some of the delay, a lot of the textures, like kind of like the way that the kind of drums like hit super like full, and then just kind of having it match a lot of like the dynamics of some of the layers you had going on there was really well done, and the vocals kind of felt a little like The Weeknd ish, like early The Weeknd stuff, which I was really vibing with. Definitely love like I think it was like first 3 albums or EPs of The Weeknd, like the trilogy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, Quinn, or not. But
No, I've listened to some of it, and it's like I may not listen to pop. I mean, I think everyone listens to pop by proxy just because it's always around playing
Sure,
somewhere.
yeah.
But like I am a big hip hop buff.
Yeah, it
So,
had
like,
that hip hop kind of feel.
I'm
which
like
is
a
nice.
big hip hop stan for sure. So making beats and getting into beat adjacent music isn't something I'm unfamiliar with. But this is just like my first real step into actually like doing it for real,
Sure.
as
yeah.
opposed to just like throwing beats together for fun every now and again. This is like, okay, I'm gonna write a record.
Well, like I said, it doesn't feel very out of your comfort zone.
Thank you.
I think it was a good first like introduction. That is what an intro track is, but it did. I feel like it gave me kind of a glimpse of what I imagine the rest of this record's gonna be. So I feel
Time will
like
tell.
Only time will tell. We're gonna go through all the songs, but in terms of process, like how long of a time did it take you to make this? Like, in terms of the time frame you've gone through recording this, is this one of the first songs you kind of worked on, or was this like later after the songs with the features kind of came to light, and then you're like, man, I gotta find something to kind of put a bow, wrap a bow on the top of the present.
That was pretty much it. I mean, the song took me, I think, like a day to bang out. I mean, at least like the skeleton of most songs tend to come around that way. You just like hit a flow state, the beat roll, and you start writing melodies in your head, and the skeleton tends to take place, which is most of the songs on this record. And then the rest that takes longer is either like feature work or my good pal Corey. He does all of the post-production on this record. He's also a solo artist who goes by the name Windmill. He's brilliant. Highly recommend y'all check him out. So a lot of the like do 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 and like weird little synth bits and ear candy, he tucked all of that into this record, so he co-produced it.
Yeah, he definitely made it seem like very like tug and pull.
Just a
kind
little,
of thing.
just
like
a little kiss.
Just a little Papa's kiss,
little-
It was
little
it was a little chicken pizza kiss, It was on point. Man, we are gonna reference chicken pizza
Just a
throughout
little
this
touch of
entire
basil for you.
But no, it was cool. I think like it's almost to me like almost like a shock a little bit, because I'm so used to just you going hard, and this feels like, man, I could like put this shit on like when I'm driving home from a concert. Like I've listened to like 4 heavy bands and I need something to just vibe out with on the way home.
It is a driving record.
This
yes.
is very much like,
It's driving music.
We here at Audio Addiction are, driving record stands. So I feel I have a strong suspicion this is a great driving record. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I feel the vibes. So That's very cool. In terms of like, I know there was kind of like some singing. Is there any sort of lyricism behind this track, really, or is it just kind of like you're like, let me do some cool like vocal melodies, and you're like, like I'm obviously not a singer, so I did
Actually exactly like that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for this one, Vice, I mean, it's the bookend of the record. I wanted to figure out a way for if you hit start on the record, you could go through the whole thing, and then when it played over from the beginning, it was tying in the whole theme. So for this, the lyric is spinning round, the cycle starts again, and the last song is Cycle. So I just wanted to bookend it.
Man, this is see, these are the moments that you miss out on if these didn't exist. So I'm just telling you, wild shit going on here. Also, the fact that he could have been, you know, a country rap artist, because, you know, Quinn McGraw.
Yeah, we all dodged a bullet there.
we all really are just, you know, working hard here. At, you know,
my solo career is young, man. We'll see.
Please, I swear to God, if I put that ship in motion, I can never.
You'd have to pull this interview off of YouTube. I can never
financially recover
after.
from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will never be able to financially recover from my losses here. But Vice was really sick. Very excited to get into the second track, which is Drift. And that one features Shaylina. I hope I pronunciated her name right. Shaylina, come on the channel. Would love to have you. Bless up. You know, it would be great to get the vibes on here, and then, you know, maybe we could talk shit about Quinn. I mean, totally would not do that. That's unprofessional. But I'm really excited about this one, guys. We're gonna get into Drift in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, all right. Kind of got that lo-fi beats and chill kind of vibe.
I'm just sitting by the creek and watching my life flow by. I'm just staring at the end with all these thoughts going through my mind. All I wanna do is find peace in a world that's so hard to believe. What does that say about me? What does that say about me? I've been feeling low today, contemplating all my past mistakes, for decisions that I made, surprised that I'm even here today. Fear of failure used to stop all the dreaming, stressed out my family, I kept them from sleeping. What does that say about me? What does that say about me? Oh, well, today is perfect. What you do with your life makes it worth it. It's know that we all have our demons. Sometimes they wake up and sometimes they're sleeping. What does that say about me? What does that say about me? I'm just sitting by the creek and watching my life flow by.
I feel like this is building to something bigger.
Staring at the eye with all these thoughts going through my mind. All I wanna do is find peace in the world that's so hard to believe. What does that say about me? What does that say about me?
Nice, yeah. This is very like lo-fi-esque.
Ebb and flow,
Ebb
baby.
and flow, baby. This is vibes. But like kind of like texture. Oh,
Had to keep it moving, now I'm lost in space.
all right.
Everything I loved only seemed to bring me pain. Broke down my walls, left me weeping. The damage is done, but I'll try to be different. What does it say about me? What does it say about me? No one alive today is perfect.
Nice.
What you do with your life makes it worth it.
She's got some strong vocals.
Just know that we all have our demons. Sometimes they wake up and sometimes they sleeping. What does it say about me? What does it say about me? I'm just
right, guys, if you just tuned in, that was Drift featuring Shaylina. Man, that was texture dense. I'd love to hear it. Love to hear it. Love
Vocal
to hear it.
layers, textures, all day.
That for real. There was like, I think the coolest thing about listening to this and obviously listening to it firsthand, like, I feel like the more times I'm gonna go back and listen to it, the more times I'm gonna get more out of it. The more times I'm gonna hear a different vocal layer and be like, man, that texture's really cool. Didn't hear that the last time. And then to the point where I'm just gonna be like, man, I know when that's gonna happen. I know when that's gonna happen. I know when that's gonna happen. And that's really neat. To some point, I almost thought you guys were gonna do like, especially that last chorus. I was genuinely hoping you guys were gonna do like some harmonies. I feel like that would have just fucking sent that shit to the next level.
Yeah, they're there. It's subtle. Like we both do some kind of like we branch off of the main a little bit. The harmonies are mostly in the big ensemble in the background. She's doing like higher texture throws, and then I'm carrying just like a big O type thing.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but yeah,
It's
yeah.
there. It's there. I had to dig, take the shovel out and dig a little more to find there's more textures underneath that very dense track. But yeah, it was a vibe for sure. I loved the kind of like just like the constant like bump, like you could feel the like the real energy of it. Almost like, I don't know if you saw it, but it's just kind of like it was just felt natural to just kind of like, bob your head a little bit, kind of getting the vibe.
It's a driving song.
It is very much. I could see myself
Throw it on and hit the road, man.
hit the road. I feel like this is a definitely like a summertime, like, it's a nice like quiet evening, and you just kind of just like have all the windows down, just kind of like chilling, and so definitely about this one.
I actually thought of the main melody and lyric while I was driving past a river.
Wow.
So,
all right.
I was like, we got to
Full
capture
circle.
this mood.
And then you pulled over. You're like, oh, I got to write this down. But no, that was really cool. Shaylina she had such like, I think
she rips, man.
She just rips, and I think comparatively to your vocals, like I've always loved the juxtaposition between like female and male vocals. Like there's just something about it when you have like a female feature on like a male on a in the male band, and vice versa.
Just wait till you hear Jenna's.
Oh, I'm so stoked. But I felt like Shaylina had this like really like mellow kind of like R&B like meets like hip hop kind of aura to her vocals. And I think she absolutely ripped it. Was not expecting it to be kind of just so like warm and inviting kind of in that aspect. I mean, I know that's like in the sort of R&B kind of pop styling, but it just felt nice. It was like a warm blanket, So
What's actually cool about her vocals as well is that Shaylina mostly raps.
That's wild.
Like hard raps. She actually went down to LA and competed in the Team Backpack freestyle comp.
What?
So she's like a sick rapper, and then she's wanting to explore a lot more of doing like the singing R&B in her own way, but also again like a lot of her singing on some of her music is like pretty belty. It's got a lot of like power and gusto to it.
Oh, 100%.
So it was cool to like have her come into the studio and like just hit it soft. Just make it
really
super
did.
intimate. And she crushed it. She's so good.
She really hit the feels, and that. I
Big
think that's
feels.
tough to do when you have like, she was like
pipes, like real pipes.
She was like Rock Lee with the weights on, you know what I mean? So like I hope that's taken as a complete compliment, because it is. She was like Rock Lee with them weights on. Like you could feel the power in her voice, but you're like, nah, I'm just gonna give you a little sprinkle. Give you
just
a
keep it at a low roar. Yeah.
It was very much a low roar, but like I know deep in my heart, she had that soul, that gusto, So I'm, Shaylina, if you watch this, do the singing thing, because it's chef's kiss, papa's kiss, love it, So that was really cool. Definitely not what I was expecting again, much like in Vice, but How long did it take to kind of put Drift together? I'm curious if this was one of the first songs you kind of wrote as, the starting point, or if there's another song that maybe preceded it. Where does this kind of sit in the timeline of Mylo Quinn?
I think this was either I think maybe the second one I wrote. Light was the first one I wrote.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I think Drift came next. I think. If I remember correctly, yeah. Somewhere around second, but I know it wasn't
there.
first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's only 5 songs, so it can't be too far.
It's like, man, song 27. I really don't know where that one went. But
yeah, I only wrote one song that never made it on the record.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a B-side. And I was like, nah. Sometimes you write it and you listen back and you're like, it's cool. I just don't think it has a place among these other tracks, so...
Gotcha. I feel like if you ever do a B-side of this record, it should be called Dark, and then you'll have Light and Dark. I know it sounds cheesy as fuck, but honestly,
poetry.
But words, imagery, magic, all that shit. No, this one was interesting, and like in terms of from like first initial draft to like what shows up here on the record, was there kind of a lot of changes over that time period, or did it kind of mostly remain the same from structure A to structure E or whatever?
Most of these songs were written in that kind of quasi flow state. There was like a month or two where I was just in this whirlwind. Most of the songs in their original form happened like instantaneously.
Awesome.
I was like, ooh, I want to do a song with like a steady kick. And I want to have like Bon Iver vocal stacks going the whole time.
Oh, it was tight.
And then it just started coming out. I heard the top line melody when I was driving. So again, it came together super quickly. But then beyond that, it's just the fine tuning. Is what I really take my time with. So it's like, let's add a little sprinkle of this here. Maybe let's like add a harmony and then listen to it for a week and then take that harmony out. And then like do that kind of thing. The subtle changes, those take a long time, but yeah, I mean, the main foundation came together pretty quick with all of these songs, to be honest.
Yeah, it felt pretty tight, like from immediate start. Like it was cool to hear kind of like you said, the Bon Iver like kind of like vocal chain kind of things going on where like you just a stack of a bunch of different vocals and stuff.
So many vocal stacks.
And I think it makes it interesting because it's not like, when you think of a metal song, like you just think of, I got the harsh guitars, I got the lead guitar, I got, the bass, I got the drums that just like are rip roaring through the song. And then you got some dude just like, screaming his brains out into the microphone. And you're like, not to say that those are bad, do enjoy it. But I feel like, recently I've been getting a lot more into like pop music and kind of hear the denser textures of like pop music, because I feel like
it's insanely well crafted.
Yeah, it's like
it's like almost
machine.
Perfect. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane how much ear candy they can fit into a song that's like 3 minutes long.
Like
just
2
nuts.
even
2. Yeah, like it's nuts.
Modern pop is so short now. It's crazy.
And it's just, like it's so texture driven, and I think you guys kind of accomplished that and kind of hit that like lo-fi like vibe. And like I've really been getting into like a lot of lo-fi when I'm just sitting here or like editing, and I know I've not been afraid to mention how much I love lo-fi. Just something I keep on like just
dude, yeah, all the time. It's like my go-to music.
It's a vibe setter, I think we even talked about it on the last Pale Sky interview that we did. Like I was just saying how much it's just so nice to have like something that's like not nuts. And like what I've been picking up recently, or what I've picked up recently, was just like a lot of great like video game kind of like lo-fi music, and it's just like
Zelda and Chill on
Zelda
Spotify,
and Chill.
dude.
Oh, whew. And I got the Pokemon.
Baby.
I got the Pokemon and Chill on vinyl right now, just rocking. that's the vibes. Like, and this guy, I think it's we're probably listening to the same guy. His name's Mikel. It's Mikel. He's the guy.
Mikel, yeah.
He does a lot of the lo-fi like Nintendo like chill stuff. So definitely.
Oh
highly
yeah,
recommend.
so good.
highly recommend. But getting back to Mylo Quinn stuff, lyrically, what are you delving into here with Drift? Did you and Shaylena kind of like put the lyrics together? Like, were you in the same room while writing the lyrics, or was she kind of like, basing her lyrics off of yours, or how was the process by that happening?
Well, I mean, in context with the whole record, I mean, the whole record's basically about my recovery from substance abuse. And
Awesome.
vice is when you don't want to use, but you do anyway, because you're just like a creature of habit, or your demons come out, and that's
Sure.
just what it is.
Yeah.
For Drift, it's like once you've made that move, now you're living in that choice you've made. And this song is about like lyrics where it's like, we all have our demons. Sometimes they wake up, sometimes they sleep in, like still being in that space where it's like they're there and they're very much a part of you.
Sure. Yeah.
And then as far as Shalena's verse goes, because it's a very thematically based lyrical approach, she based her verse off of mine, except for her is like the pivot in the song where it's like, she says the same thing, but almost through a hopeful lens.
Okay.
Whereas mine is like the descent and hers is the like rising out of it. So it's like midway through the song, there's this flip where it starts off of like, it's dark and I'm in this place and I'm drifting away from myself and everyone. And then hers is like, that's true, but because it's a choice, you can actually pull yourself out of that.
That's actually really cool. I didn't even really, like, again, gonna be
It's so subtle.
I'm gonna like it, it's like we were talking about having such like density to like the songs, but like I think even lyrically thus far, like obviously this is the first track with like some real like
Substance.
real substance. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, like, it is cool to hear like the way that you frame it in comparison to like the record. Obviously, I feel like you said the journey of like going through the substance abuse and like kind of road mapping it with all of these songs, I think is very interesting. And obviously, I'm sure as the people listen to it more and more, those things are going to be a little bit more like discernible, able to be picked out. And I think you did a great job of kind of having something that obviously has deep lyrical complexity to it, but also in the sense that it's still like very palatable. It's like if you're not really trying to like listen to the lyrics, it's something that you can still just like vibe out with. It's still got that really great, like sound to it, but if you dig deeper, there's like a lot more meat to the bones.
Yeah, and like some of them are intentionally open-ended because I mean, some songs you write and they're so specific, but
Sure.
other songs it's like you write them in a way where it's like, this is what I'm going through, but someone else may resonate it in a completely different way. And that's one of the beautiful things about art. It's like when you listen to a song from an artist that you're listening to the track and you're like, I feel like this was written for me about what I'm going through right now,
Sure,
even though
yeah.
that artist was going through something completely different when they wrote it. So it's nice to keep things open sometimes, because otherwise it's like you may lose that opportunity to connect with
Sure.
other people through your music.
It's
Not
a
that I
little
do it
too literal.
intentionally, but when I was writing it, that was just like, I'm going to keep it vague.
It could be a little bit too literal. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand
for
where you're
sure.
I understand where you're coming from. That I feel like like I said, there's this way that you and Shaylena were able to kind of encapsulate just the musicality of it, but then kind of reflecting on the lyricism of it. I think you get a lot more understanding of like, okay, well, this storyline is going to continue on through through the rest of the songs on this record here. And so I like the theme, like the theming, and just kind of being cognizant of like, this is how I want the songs to kind of go, and this is how I want them to kind of grow and evolve throughout the entire listening process. So very exciting, guys. Go check out, again, I already told you there's going to be a link to listen to Light below in the description, so go give it some love. But the next song is going to be track number 3, which is called Light, the title track.
Title track, baby.
And it features our boy Joel of Being as an
Shout
Ocean.
out.
So we're going to count that one in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ooh. That like, all right. That piano is tight, like synthy piano kind of vibe.
Always the same, day after day, letting the things that I love take the toll on me. You always say, this is the way, there's nothing that I can do but embrace this pain. When you call for me from beyond a world that's darkening, will I still carry the fight, carry my light? When you call for, I need to change, but I can't escape. Watching the man who I was fade away on me. So give me the strength, show me the way, take me by the hands and make this all okay. When you call for me from beyond a world that's darkening, will I still carry the fight, carry my light? When you call,
Here we go.
I feel heaven drawing me near as flames look at my face.
This is tight.
No, I gotta shine bright while I'm here, but hellish things are whispering my name. Don't
That
want a
layer.
timely death, my words don't live on forever. Thought I could outwit my demons, turns out those fuckers are clever. I feel it in my chest, always knew I could do better. Burning bright spirit won't weaken, just test a flickering weather. Whether I wanted to, whether I
Oh
don't.
yeah.
Although the latter's probably when I need it most. Will I swallow my evil, my ego will I choke? I double down on myself and my people go for broke. When you call for me
What a cute transition.
from beyond a world that's darkening,
Oh,
I still carry the fight, carry my light.
yeah. Oh yeah. Little striding guitar action. Ooh. All right. The vibes are here. Vibes have entered the chat, guys.
Vibe City up in the chat.
Vibes have entered the chat right now, guys. Woo! All right, guys, if you just tuned in, that was the title track, Light, featuring Joel of Being as an Ocean. Woo! That was spicy. I like that one. That one was hot.
That's my baby. That's my baby right there.
That one. Man, I don't want to pick a favorite yet because I haven't listened to Jenna's track. But God, that's gonna be hard to beat. So I'm gonna say, woo, that was great. The first half was really like nice, mellow, chill. I really like what's been going on with the vocals, where it's kind of like a little vocated a little bit in a sense. It's got that cool kind of like I don't want you to take offense to this. It's got kind of that like T-Pain-ish kind of like.
Oh yeah,
auto-tune,
yeah. It's like synthetic and
yeah,
like
it's a little-
the harmonies are hard pinned to get that artifacting sound. Like I
Yeah.
love how those vocals sound like that.
It's on point. It kind of it's really cool because it kind of hits that melody super well too. Like, you know, and obviously that's kind of the intention of it, but it just works super well. And I think I forgot to point it out in Drift, but I feel like it's highlighted that much more in Light. So really enjoyed that. The one thing that really blew my fucking mind was the fact that they placed Joel's vocals, like you could hear it like behind your head, weirdly enough. Like the vocals are kind of like very like 360 kind of feel. And that was wild. I was like sitting here, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like it was like,
Yeah, I mixed the record, and
Woo!
I had Joel on like an auto pan. So there's one line he's saying where like he's rapping the main one. Crazy thing about Joel's thing, I asked him to do the feature, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to, and we chatted for a bit about it. And then I half anticipated that he would send me like a main vocal, a couple harmonies,
Yeah.
just like, here you go, do what you can with it. He sent me 50 vocal tracks. 50. I was like, what? It's like, dude, what? It was like,
this guy's a G.
I was like,
Joel.
you are a freaking pro. And it totally made me reevaluate how I do vocals, period. I was like, wow, there was so many ways you'd approach this. It was like the soft bits, and then there was like rapping in like a hard tone, but then in like a soft spoken tone, and then like 20 plus just random like synth harmonies and like a vocoder stack. And I was like, man, like what? It was I got way more than I bargained for.
He really went all out. That's awesome.
It was so cool. Yeah.
That's so sick. And like it was like just the mixing on this was fantastic. Like some of the vocal layers were really well done. I think they were just executed super well. I like the pan. That was super like unexpected. I was just like,
trips you out.
It's
like,
I could hear it like I could hear it like behind me. What the fuck? Like this is so. Is Joel behind me? Like he's just like he's like at his microphone. He's like, yo, what's going on? He's like, yo, and I'm like, oh good, he's not behind me. I was just like very concerned for my life a little bit. Not that I feel like Joel would hurt me in any way, but just
no, he would just hug you.
He would just he's behind me just to hug me. But I was deeply stoked on this. Like even like Joel's feature was super nice. Like the transition from like where it was like real like kind of like more beat centric, and then kind of tapers off, and then Joel kind of comes in and like brings up a different kind of like melody structure, and then just the way that he kind of added his like spoken word kind of rap bit in there just felt very like just it like if you had told me like that he was just like he hadn't done all of that where he sent you like 50 tracks, like it just felt very natural. Like even it, like I would be very remiss if he did not show up on this track, because it like I couldn't imagine how different it would have sounded. But he just
I didn't even know he could rap. Like I asked him, do the spoken word thing. Like I love that.
Do the spoken word.
Take me back to like Dear God, like
God
2012.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Like make me feel. And he sent me this rap verse for the first half. I was like, whoa,
Yo,
this
I
is
gotta
so
throw this
cool.
shit in here, and you're like drag. And then threw it
Gonna
in.
drop this and pump that gain. Yeah, I was like, dude, sick. Didn't
really
even know you did that.
He really went hard when he shouldn't have. Like that was awesome. I was
so blessed, man. He brought it.
I was really thrown back by that one, and just to like hear like him kind of go through like what I know being as an Ocean is, where he like does the real like, yo, he's got a great voice, and then he kind of does that shit, and then you're like, then he's like, yo, so then I'm gonna do this, and he kind of does this rap bit. I'm like, yo, man, like you really doing all the work, and I appreciate that, so I gotta give a shout out to Joel. He really
I even took some of the scream layers out, because there was also like screams that were done for virtually most parts too. And like in the context with the rest of the record, I was like, I don't want it to get too heavy, even though the kid in me was like, oh, sick.
Yeah, bro. Screams. I feel like at the end it would have been just like the nice like fucking bring it home kind of like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was awesome. That one, I think that one's my favorite thus far. Again, haven't listened to the Jenna track yet, so I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch. But God,
other fun nugget on that too is that Shalina is one of the vocals in the final chorus. There's an ensemble of like Johnny Chardulo, Shalina, Noah, my buddy Gilmer, who was on Down, Shay, like there's just like this ensemble of vocals in there. And then my buddy Riley from Without a Crown, who I sent him the track just to do a vocal harmony for this part. And he writes back like, "Hey man, I know you wanted vocals, but I wrote a guitar lead. What do you think?"
Oh, that was so sick.
And that's the outro lead. Yeah, he's just like, "Yeah, I don't know. This just came to my mind. Do you want to use it? You don't have to." I'm like, "Bro, you're totally using that."
It was so sick. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He fucking killed it. So big shouts. That's awesome. In terms of, obviously, like we talked about getting Joel on the track and his, immense vocal feature, and being a fan of Being as an Ocean, like, how does, obviously you mentioned at the beginning of this episode, like, how much of, how important this was to you to have Joel on this track. Like, once it finally kind of set in, you're really, about to release Light, like, did it ever click to you? You're like, man, I have a song with Joel from Being as an Ocean. That's wild.
Oh yeah, from like our first FaceTime. I was just like, this is crazy. And then he's in the music video as well.
Yes, he is. That is true.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was just such a cool experience for like growing up as a fan and then getting to work together and get to know each other a bit. And yeah, I mean, like he's so humble too. Like he's just so into his craft, like a true poet. Such a great dude. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to work with him again. It was just so cool.
Big shouts to Joel.
Big shouts.
Go check out. Listen, if you haven't listened to Being as an Ocean, what's wrong with you?
Listen
to them. But
turn this off right now.
No, don't turn this off right now. Wait till this is over and then go listen to Being as an Ocean. It's great vibes all around. But Quinn, the next question, kind of, keeping in the same lane, lyrically, what does this delve into? Again, with the whole Joel thing.
Death.
Is it really about death?
It's about death.
Wow.
Yup.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought you were just saying that as like, just being like a hard metal guy, I didn't.
Nope.
Who knew?
This is the pretty side of death.
I was going to say, you could write a very pretty, like, oh man, that's wild. And in terms of lyrics, like for Joel, like obviously working with him on that, like, what was his kind of take on, your song in terms of, the lyrical process? I mean, obviously he's not on here to talk about it. I mean, unless Joel wants to just show up behind me like he was in the song, but
in the mix, yeah.
In the mix. But, how is kind of going through the lyrics with Joel and kind of like mapping out what you want to kind of accomplish in Light?
Yeah, I mean, basically the core themes were being in this place where you feel so trapped, and looking out at the trajectory of your life, wondering like, am I just going to be a part of this endless cycle? And then through that, like finding that spark, but also begging the question, am I still going to be someone who has a full heart when I die? Like, will I still carry the fight, carry my light when you call for me? You being like other, God, universe, your maker, whatever it is. And then obviously he's no stranger to writing very spiritual, spirit-forward lyrics.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of brainstormed about the theme and he came back with taking it to a place that really elevated the rest of it.
It was really cool. Like, and again, much like in Drift, I'm gonna have to definitely take my my strong ear and listen to all the lyricism a little bit more in depthly. But I think it's just been really cool to kind of hear, like I said at the top of this episode here, of like going from knowing you in like Living Machines and obviously Pale Sky, like this is like the complete inverse of that, and to kind of hear your take on how the lyrics work and how the process is. And I mean, I imagine it's kind of similar in that sense, but just like the way that it's kind of eloquently put together in tracks like these, obviously the ones we've listened to thus far, is really cool. So I want to give you props for that, because it's I think to me it's tough to transition those two genres. Like I like I said, when I first found out that you were doing this, I was like, I don't know how he's gonna do that. That sounds very difficult. But, I mean,
Just wait till you hear the new stuff I'm writing.
But I'm like, good luck, man.
Further.
We're going further down.
We're going further.
And I think even sonically too, it almost reminds me, like, the first thing that came to mind with Light was like almost at like 90s pop kind of vibe to it, like an NSYNC or like a Backstreet Boy kind of, like, not like, you know, not like a, you know, bye kind of vibe, but like definitely more in that sort of like, you know, more chill kind of like 90s pop, like boy band kind of feel to it, but then also have like some like
the
hip-hop.
Good shit.
Yeah, the good shit, you know, like some like nice like hip hop drums kind of beat going on there. You know, it feels very modern in that aspect, but like it has this real like nostalgia to it. So I have to give you some dumb props on
I'm
that.
a product of the 90s, man. What can
Amen,
I say?
brother. Same here.
Amen.
So like that was really cool to hear that, and I don't know if that again was intentional or not, but it felt very nostalgic. And I, you know, again, great driving track. Could definitely like be like vibing out with this one for sure. 100%. Street vibes all around here. But we're gonna move it into the next song, track number 4. This one is called Love. This features our good friend Jenna Johnson of Caution. Shout outs to her. So we're gonna give it a listen in 3, 2, 1. Damn, this piano is super tight.
I used to drink about my false alarms.
Feels very R&B.
Now I'm home
I'm
before the
vibing.
party starts. I used to walk around with fear in my heart.
Ooh, all right, Quinn.
But the truth is I find joy in a lot of ways. I love the sound of rain on the driveway. Love the smile that my wife makes.
We getting wholesome with it.
Oh, you're right. I just imagine you on like a fucking velour like bed. You got like the rose hanging out of your mouth.
I will keep on pushing till my last day comes. When we're all at the end.
Ooh, all right.
Covered in scars. Don't forget about the love in your heart.
Used to think that I fall from all the pressure, living up the standards that I could not even measure. No, let it bring me down.
Woo! All right.
Tell him, Jenna. Tell him.
Stank on it.
Gotta focus on things that make it feel okay, like coming home to her at the end of the day. Long drives chasing summertime skies.
All right.
There are days that I've lost and days that I've won. I will keep on pushing till my last day comes.
That's what I'm talking about
When
here.
we're all at the end, covered in scars.
Start doing this.
Don't forget about the love in your heart.
So love in your heart.
Oh, everybody take their lighters out. Let's go.
You with the back. I want to see you cry.
Everybody's crying tonight in the club. Let's go. Oh, this is awesome. Dude, the ear candy in this thing. Wow.
There are days that I have lost and days that I've won. I will keep on pushing till my last day comes. When we're all at the end, covered in scars. Don't forget about the love in your heart. There's still love in your heart.
Oh, All right, guys, that was Love, and that features our good homie Jenna and Costin.
Shout out.
Shout out. Man, that one was wild. That was the adjective I could only describe this song to be.
If I had but a word, wild.
Very, 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 very like 90s R&B like vibe. Like I almost got.
We're in that adult contemporary space.
Yeah, for real. You really were. It almost reminded me a little bit of like Boys to Men kind of vibes going on.
Oh yeah.
And then that switch up at the end was like, ooh, all right, excuse me. Damn. I was really that like beat change was really tight, and it like, oh my god, this track was really well done. I don't know if it beats Light though. I mean, Light was really good. No offense to Jenna, she fucking ripped it. But God, that these are tough. These. I mean, all three of them were real solid. I don't want to seem like I'm just like pandering here, but yeah, that one was really tight. I think the coolest thing about it was, and I think you kind of alluded to it in a previous thing that we were talking about. This one had the harmonies on point. Like you could definitely tell there was just like that distinct like. You know,
Jenna is like a harmony queen. It's crazy.
Oh, it was so good.
You'll be like, here's this vocal, and she'll be like, okay, and then we'll just start singing it in a harmony. I'm like, how? Teach me. What? How do you do that?
It was so cool, and like, I think the fact that like in terms of your tonalities, like the separation was super like tight. That's what I've always appreciated about like. Again, I'll mention it like I mentioned previously, that male to female kind of like differentiation in vocals, like vocal strategies. Like it just really had this really like separation that I think made it just that much more palatable in terms of just butter. It was like so well put together. Jenna's
our tones blend together pretty nicely, which was cool.
Exactly. That I couldn't think of the word, but it definitely blend for sure. It was like. It just really worked well together. It was almost to a point where it almost felt like one voice, but had like just this like insane range.
It's like a dual tone, yeah.
It's a dual tone, and so that was really cool. But just the fact that like that was already tight as it is, and then the piano. I don't know who came up with that piano line throughout the entire song, but that was fire.
Just a loop I found.
Oh, it was fire.
Yeah,
it was so good. So. Big shout outs to whoever piano's loop that is. I have no fucking idea, but
that would be the BeatStars producer Black Poet.
Woo! Wow, Black Poet
fucking
ripped it, man. That piano was absolutely mesmerizing.
And then so like that's the thing. So like the piano loop is the only thing that's licensed. Everything else was either like synth writing or bringing Corey in, where he added like the arpeggiated stuff and the strings and all of those bits. That's all Corey's brainchild.
Corey is just absolutely ripping.
He's like, yeah, this track's pretty cool, but it tastes like shit. Have you considered some salt? And he just comes in and he's just like, there, that just tastes so much better.
Oh my god, yeah, he really hit him with the Salt Bay action, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of poets, that's what Corey is. He's a poet with a synth.
Yeah, he's a poet. Oh my god, the layers on this was actually so tight, and to have, like I said, having that piano as the focal point and then kind of building all around that just to make it have like really texture heavy. It just, oh man, it was so great. And then like I said earlier, that switch up in that last like little bit at the end, that was like, did not expect that. That was some like M. Night Shyamalan shit where, you know, you think it's the end, but then you're like, but what if we switch the beat up though? And then they like run it back, and I was like, God, that was fucking sick. So I was, man, that one had me rocking. I like the little I assume it was just like vocal things of people saying like love and kind of that aspect of things.
It was like a friends and family. I had them all just like record voice memos. Same for some of Jenna's friends and family as well. I think that last one, like Love in Your Heart, I think that's her niece.
Aw, that's cute.
So we just got everyone to record and send us voice memos, and then I just like dropped them all in my DAW and mixed them in, and yeah.
It was.
I played it. I called it the Wall of Love, and I wanted to test it out because I'm thinking we'll do a beat change, and then just like flood you with positivity. And then I beta or alpha tested it on my wife. And I was like,
say?
"Yeah, come here, just check this out." He's like, "Okay." I was like, "It's ready." Put
ready.
headphones on her. I played it for her, and right as Jenna's niece comes in at the end, she just starts crying. And I was like, "It works!
Yes,
we did it!"
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
great. You really
Yeah,
did.
it hit.
It really was hitting different. I was like, hold back those tears, Brandon. Listen, like,
Yeah.
we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it on We can't do it live. Off
So
camera.
what'd you think?
100
I really like this song.
There's so much love in my heart.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man, that was a sound to behold. That was really on point. Again, had that kind of 90s R&B kind of pop feel to it. Definitely had a lot of soul in it. And for like, again, if you had told me that you had never thought about doing this kind of like pop, like hip hop soul kind of thing, would have never believed you. So this is proof. Proof's in the
Seeing
pudding.
is believing.
Yeah, proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is delicious. So
This is why I had to make this project, because I had so much to say. I'm just
really
like, I
did.
gotta get it out.
then you had to hit them with the wall of love. That's
Yeah,
like the opposite of a wall of death. We just
Sorry,
go
not sorry,
we
Sydney.
just start hugging people. We're like, all right, guys, I want to see the room split. All right, when this
You
beat,
at the back,
when this
you
beat
at the
drops-
front. Bring it together.
When this beat drops, I want to hear you guys hug it out. Already, 3, 2, 1. The beat drops, and then everybody's like, "Oh my god, I love you so much." All right, that's
Just hug, yeah. Just hug.
that was our sentimental moment, brought to you by Giant Seltzer Water. No, I'm kidding. For it to be a brand placement moment here, but
Cue commercial.
cue commercial. Have you ever thought, man, what a delicious drink, bubbly, it really fills up the heart. Anyway, guys, we're gonna move on to our next sponsored post here. Nature Valley Granola Bar, delicious. It does disintegrate as soon as you take it out of the package, but my God, it's got all the love in your heart.
Yeah, you just open it and it's dust.
Yeah, it's like, that's what you hear.
It's like I didn't realize they could just put a bunch of oats in this container.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if this was just like they were just like pass this off as oatmeal somehow, like oats and stuff, but it's actually just sawdust because it literally turns into sawdust. Shout out to Nature Valley granola bars. Sorry, that should have.
If you didn't grow up in the 90s, you have no idea.
Oh man,
Cusp
Or
of the
if you didn't
millennial.
if you didn't grow up now, this still exists, and you can still get the sawdust at your local grocery store. Anyway, enough with the brand placement. But I appropriately named Love. I did absolutely love this track. I want to say that Light and Love were like kind of are the two.
Oh, those are the
tracks.
contenders, hey?
Those are the contenders right now. I mean, Cycle, still haven't listened to. The verdict is not out. The jury is still here. So, very excited about that. But, again, Quinn, from the lyrical aspect of things, obviously, the title track's Love. I feel like it's not about death, certainly. It's not about.
It's also about
It's
death.
also, damn it. Fuck, I messed up again. But anyway, what is this lyrically about? What were you kind of trying to delve into? And was, in terms of having Jenna on it, how was working with her and kind of like, formulating like a game plan in terms of the song?
I mean, the lyric themes are fairly fairly straightforward. For us, it was just like, I mean, in context with the story, I mean, once you've found that light, that desire to like transcend your demons, then you can actually achieve a state of love, self-love, and appreciation again. So yeah, it's just like remembering that although sometimes the world may be dark, there's the little things, like rain on the driveway. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Oh,
it's so beautiful,
great
and it's
sound.
subtle. You just like wake up, it's raining, you just hear it pattering on the concrete. just trying to tap into those little joys that you can always carry with you. And the chorus lyric being, when we're all at the end covered in scars, don't forget there's love in your heart. So yeah, and working with Jenna is awesome. I mean, we've been in and out of working together, obviously having recorded Bloom and like just being good buds and always sharing music back and forth. I've actually helped her work on some solo music that's not out yet, and I'm choked, Jenna. So if you're listening to this, please put it out. It's so good.
Boy yoing,
like,
oh my god. Holy
Boy
shit.
yoing is right. Yeah.
My god. Wow, you're really holding out on me, Jenna. I'm a little upset.
She hit me up and she's like, I think I want to do the solo thing too. I'm like, please. You must.
Yeah. Who's stopping you? You know, like that's like
you point them out right now.
You know, that's like the real question. I'm gonna show up at their house and I'm gonna find them. You know, like if you say that someone out there doesn't want you to record solo music, I'm gonna go find them and tell them a piece of my mind, because that is wrong. That is totally wrong. And Jenna,
no, she's great. Same thing.
Do the solo stuff. I'll call her out. You know,
upvote
in a loving way. You know.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think your guys' vocals just meld very well together, and to kind of hear you guys on a track and just it felt very natural. Like it was almost as if like this was kind of similar to Joel's and Shailene. Like it just felt very like these things fit very well, and obviously, you know, you can't predict those things to be, you know, true or not, but like the fact that these songs kind of came out the way that they did and have the features on them the way that they are, it just really, I don't think it could have came out any better personally. Like it just really works well.
And I mean, I think like another big thing is just being comfortable. Shalina and Jenna, like we've been recording at my house in my various houses for so long that when it came time to it, I mean, most of the time we're just laughing. Like we're singing these like really intimate, real songs, but half the time, like we're all just howling because we're just goofs. Like we're just a bunch of potatoes just hanging out in the studio.
And that's great. Like I think the best thing
it has to be fun, right?
It just feels natural, you know, and
it's comfortable.
And it's comfortable, and it just really works. So very excited about that. This one, you know, again, another fantastic track. If you haven't checked out Costin, go give them a listen. They're great.
Also, Costin, new song tomorrow,
I think. Yeah. Listen, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
But I do like this one a lot. You know, there is a lot of love in my heart, as I like, you know, not to make it like that much more cheesier, but you know, I just got all my like, you know, all of my like Pokemon gear and all this shit, all of my video game stuff, and that just brings a lot of love to my heart. So, you know,
good. It's the little things you gotta have
like
them, right?
This little Alakazam, you know, that brings a lot of. I mean, look at this guy. Look at his mustache. I mean, come on.
It's the spoons for me.
It's the spoons. Listen, my man's got this, you know, the cereal on deck right now.
I was gonna say, speaking of oats in the freaking plastic.
Speaking about oats, no, I'm kidding. I'm just no. I'll stop. I feel like I'm just really just digging myself a hole with Nature Valley, but I mean it's a valley, so it would make sense. But anyway. We're going to move on to the last track, guys. If you made it here all the way to the end, as you know, major goof alert. Me and Quinn have been having a grand old time.
We're just new boot goofing out here.
Just both goofy goobering out here. So we're going to move it into the last track number 5, Cycle.
I'm going to grab a soda water because there's like a 10-second swell.
There we go.
And then I can also do product placement. You can't see it now, but I have a can of Spark Mouth in my hands.
Okay.
Count it down, Dad.
We'll count it down, guys. 3, 2, 1. Here's Cycle, guys.
Waiting for something, but I'm not there yet. Failing or falling, what's the difference? Pulling and pushing, put a piece of myself into this.
Woo. All right. Say it with your chest.
Trying to face it, and I need your help. I just hope I'm I'm strong enough to do it myself. I look in the mirror, open my mouth, and I said, hey, don't let me down. I said, hey, it all comes around. Where can I take this? I need to let go. Fighting with myself is growing old. Take all the pieces, put them together, and I said, hey. I said, hey, it all comes around.
So long as you are trying to make progress, you will go up.
I like that.
But up always implies down. So while you are trying to get better and better and better, that means that when you get to the best, you can only go on to the worst. And so you go round and round and round, ever chasing the illusion that there is something outside yourself, outside your here and now, to be attained that will make things better. And the thing is to recover from that illusion.
Woo! All right, we got some cello action here. Oh, God. Ooh.
Oh, baby.
Thick boys have entered the chat. This is nice.
I said, hey, don't let me down. I said, hey, it all comes around. I said, hey.
Oh, nice violin. All right.
I said, hey, it all comes around.
Oh, this is so cool. All right, guys.
You made it. That's it.
This is the last track. We've hit the precipice here. This was the track Cycle. If you have not listened to the entire Mylo Quinn record and you happen to be watching this after the fact, first of all, that makes me very sad. You should have been here. Would have been great having you here in person in the chat.
You blew it.
You blew it. It makes me big sad, but you know what? The next time it happens, you won't miss out because you know what you do? You hit that notification bell, so then you know when Brandon goes live, on YouTube. So, slight plug, just. But
gotta do
this
it.
one, you got to do it. This one, I was very pleasantly surprised with because like I said, you have 3 features, in the main bread, the main meat of the record, and I was like, I wonder what he's gonna do at Cycle. I had this feeling like, is he gonna kind of keep the same like vibe, but almost to an effect, it feels like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like to a point you're almost alluding to how things might go with the next release, almost in some way. I know it sounds very like weird to say, but it almost has that kind of like
we will see.
It feels very next step-ish.
Who knows? You might find out in June.
Oh my God. And then Milo's going to have to come back on again to do another one of these.
This is an audio addiction exclusive.
Oh shit! Wow, mic drop. Actually, not gonna drop my mic because it's expensive. But yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that would go over. And then I started GoFundMe. Please help me buy a new microphone for my YouTube channel. But no, this one was really well done. I think the layers really just hit a peak on this one. I think just like
that last
cello.
chorus, there's like I think like 15 vocals, and I think like at the peak maybe 8 to 10 string tracks.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was almost as
just
if
a Big
like,
Mac.
There's almost as if this. It was almost as if there was like this like orchestra like surrounding me and the audience here. But
that's all my one friend Mitch.
Oh, Mitch.
He came by. He's a violinist, as well as a cello player. He just brought them both over, sat down for an evening, and he's like, "All right, let's
go.
Let's build a city." Yeah, it was sick. He's so good. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think these are like I don't really know like what the key is. At that point, I hadn't really been studying any music theory. I was like, I don't know, man. He's like, okay, I think it's like this. And then he grabs a sheet of paper and he writes down 3 notes. And then he writes down, if this is like a 3x3 grid, he writes down another 3 and then figures out like the theory math and then goes, okay, so here are like the 7 notes I can play and build this. And then did it. And I was like, what? It's like, you are crazy, dude.
It's like that one lady.
Big brain energy.
It's like that one lady meme where she's like looking at the screen, and then it's like all of those like.
It's just math.
All that math shit is like flying.
Yeah,
that's how I
straight up how
now.
that part came together.
I think I might have become dumber. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but I lost some brain cells right there. So that's impressive. So shout outs to Mitch. He really like brought it all together, because like it just had this kind of like end of the album kind of like feel to it, and great. Like, I think the biggest thing for like albums for me at least is just having that like cement post of like an ending, and I felt like you just really just like laid it out all the line with Cycle, and I loved it. I think again, much like all of the other songs, and this might seem like pandering, but I swear to God it's not.
You're allowed to like it. That's totally fine.
I know, but
in fact, I'm glad you do.
It was, honestly, to and I know I made this point earlier, but to just kind of hear you do something different that isn't like metal just throws me off to the point where I'm like kind of had to like really sit here right now and think like, holy shit, like this guy's in a metal band but like has actually written like a insanely like well put together like pop kind of like lo-fi-ish like soul hip hop kind of album, and that's wild. That is absolutely like batshit crazy shit going on.
Wild has entered the chat.
For real, like it really is. And to hear kind of like the vocal challenges, like in terms of like how to like layer things and how to like put everything together, like that makes sense and like that people understand and can kind of like really delve into. I think that's really just fucking impressive, and so this is probably an album that will be in my rotation for quite a bit, just because most people think, oh well, Brandon loves heavy music, like that's a vibe, 100% always gonna love heavy music, but like I always love a good like not metal record, because then I can listen to it when I'm like driving home from a hard like a hard record, and I'm like a bunch of heavy bands I saw throughout the night, and I'm like I just need an album that I can just kind of vibe with, and this one is definitely on my list here of like vibe central tracks, like, so kudos.
Thank you. I'm glad you dig it.
Quinn.
Appreciate it. Really do.
Um,
It was an interesting road to get here, but I'm glad I'm here now, and I have so many more songs to write and a lot to say. So just getting started, really.
and then lyrically, to kind of cap this off, Quinn, what were you going for with this one? I feel like much like in the same vein as some of the other songs that predated this one. How was the lyrical process of kind of, I imagine this, along with Vice, were like the last songs to be written, quote unquote. Did it feel kind of like, oh shit, this is like, I'm actually gonna be doing this. This is like, once this is done and once it's all like fully put together, like this is going out to everyone and they're gonna be able to listen to this.
Big time. I mean, this one is really just like, there's kind of like a meta to it because it's all about breaking the cycle. And now that you're liberated and you can go on and just live this whole new life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also funny because like that was also me breaking the cycle of just not writing my own solo music. So it's like there's a double entendre in that. Yeah. Yeah, it's twofold.
It's Inception. It's Leonardo.
Yeah, and
Leonardo DiCaprio. This is your Leonardo DiCaprio.
Catch me if you can't. Yeah, no, it was cool. And then the vocal sample in the middle there is actually Alan Watts, who's like a British former Anglican priest, Zen Buddhist teacher, and he pops up like he's been on. He's had clips in like Architects before and some other metal bands that pull from him. But it was cool getting to chat with his son Mark, and then like, hey, could I use your dad in my song? And he's like, yeah, it's a really pretty song. I think it would fit nicely. And then like obviously you have to figure out like licensing and stuff for the clips, but yeah, he was all for it. So it was cool to like chat with him briefly.
Wild.
And yeah. I think all in all across the whole record with features, producers, and then like just other random people and like the vocals, little clips in love. There's been like, I think all about 50 people that have all touched this record in some way, which is just crazy.
And that's
because it doesn't sound like it, but yeah, it's like there's a lot of people involved in putting this together. It really does take a village.
Amen, brother. It was quite a journey, and I think like, I think I gave you probably the most honest, approach much like all of the other ones that I've done. I think the cool thing about it is that like I get to experience this album with the person that made it, and I think it's like,
yeah, that's so sick. I had no idea that you were gonna do a reaction to it tonight.
And so like that's why I think
so cool.
That's why I appreciate it. That's why I really enjoy doing these, is because like I purposefully don't listen to these records so I can give like the most honest like reaction, appeal, whatever. People can say whatever they want, but I have legitimately not touched this record since you sent it over. All I did was upload it onto my computer, and that was it. Like, and I was just like, and then I was like waiting patiently, like, I was like, okay, well, we're gonna do this on May 9th, so I'm gonna wait patiently until May 9th and not listen to it.
Just
even with all the setbacks. I really like, from start to finish, beautiful record. The features were awesome. Shout out to Shailena, Joel from Being as an Ocean, Jenna in Costin. They were all very well put together, well eloquented. I don't even know if that's a word, but
it is now.
It is now, and they just kind of, even like working well with your vocal strategy and approach. I think it just really, really, just really came to a head. So, I mean, I got to give them
and they all made it so special, which is the best part.
Oh, 100%.
It wouldn't have been the same record without them. So shout out to all of you who helped me, because
big facts.
You all made it. Big fan.
Kudos to everyone involved. But I love this record. That's no John, zero Johns here. Really thought it was really well put together. I love the etherealness to it. Just like it kind of has this like lo-fi hip hop kind of feel to it, but then also has like some soul mixed in, a little R&B, a little like old school kind of 90s pop vibe. If you're looking for that, Mylo Quinn's the shit for you, honestly. I will leave a link to Light. Go give it a listen. Very excited to hear the future songs, future journeys of Quinn. Whether it be this project, Mylo Quinn, Living Machines, or Pale Sky. Check them all out. I've done technically 2 interviews and this live track by track with Quinn thus far, and he's a major homie of the channel. So
I'll have to start a 4th band just to come back on. Super
you wouldn't
kidding.
be the first, and you probably wouldn't be the last. So I'll die on that hill. But anyway, Quinn, tell the people, because we're at the end of the line here, tell people where they can find Mylo Quinn stuff at, what you have coming up. Kind of alluded to, maybe a little something in June, which is less than a month away, which is very exciting. And I guess what people can expect from this project going further.
Yeah. You can find me Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok now. I caved.
Same.
At Mylo Quinn, MYLO. All the links will be down here for sure. Have a single coming out in June, which isn't announced yet, asides here. And it's with my buddies Frankie Adept, who's a Kelowna rapper, and then Neon Empty, my buddy Bryce, who is also the vocalist in. Yeah. So I got him on a tune. So that one's sick. I'm really stoked to share that. It's just a rap. Like I made a beat, they rap on it, and then I just sing the hooks. Very conventional, like hip hop track.
It is.
And then
the hip hop formula.
Yeah, like I have a bunch of other singles and instrumentals written, but I'm like on the fence of if I just want to throw them out, because I started writing like full band, like big indie rock anthem type stuff, and I think there may or may not be some hard pivot in the future. We'll see.
Wow. All right.
The beauty is that it's just me, so you get what you're here for.
This may be the last R&B lo-fi.
Like, why make a 4th project? I'll just do a complete 360 in my solo one.
My God,
why not?
Oh man, well, this might be the last time you hear an R&B, soul, lo-fi, hip-hop, rap album. Next thing you're gonna hear is an indie shoegaze vibe sort of band, and then by the end of it, Quinn will be back to symphonic death metal that you'll be able to just fucking rock your brains out with. I couldn't even say it with a straight face, but very blessed to have Quinn on again. If you guys like what you heard, unless it gets copyright striked, and then I'm gonna cut all of the music out. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But if it does happen, go check out Mylo Quinn. All of the links will be in the description. Go give him some love. Go give him some follows, especially on TikTok. I know that's every musician's dream is to make a TikTok account. So go give that some love. I don't know why I said that as if I'm a hater of TikTok, but which I am not, by the way. So I will be posting more content there. Just make sure to beat me up in the comments to make more content there. But very exciting. Even if Quinn does pivot and goes in the indie rock direction, still very stoked. Glad you're taking a different avenue in terms of your process, and again, was really fun to go through Light and just listen to it and have your feedback, and obviously for us to experience the joys of Light. So go give it a listen. If you like the content, share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. I think I am like 2 or 3 away from 2K, which is nuts. So
oh, bro, I have a personal YouTube. I'm gonna hit that.
Oh yeah, let's go. Am I like 1 away? That would be so sick.
How many do you need?
Are we gonna do it live? Are we doing it live? Let's see.
I got like 4 or 5 YouTube accounts. Let's do it. We're here.
He's gonna push me over the edge with all 5 accounts.
Oh yeah, why not?
Oh my god, this is the most manic thing I think we've
Came
I've
for the
done
cake, stayed for
Came
the cherry on top.
Really, for real. All right,
Like,
let's see. Live subscriber count. All right, never mind. This says I'm 10 away, but I really feel like I'm not 10 away.
okay,
I don't know
okay.
how accurate this is.
Let's see. Blow that up. Blow
Wait,
that up.
let's see. Wait. I just saw the number change. So.
Oh, boom, 2K. We did it.
Woo! Let's go! We're at 2K, baby! I think we are. I don't know. I'll have to check.
Yeah, I see 2K here.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah. All
Cool.
right, we're
That's
at
my
2K,
thanks for you
baby.
having me on.
Woo! 2K. Let's go. Let's go. I'd like to thank the Academy. Oh, wait. I'd like to thank the Academy for this beautiful award. Shout outs to Giant Seltzer. Delicious. Sip. Delicious. Tastes like blueberry. Real blueberries. But anyway. That was terrible. Go check out Mylo Quinn. Again, Quinn is a major homie of the channel. So listen, if you give love to Mylo Quinn, you're going to have to give love to other bands that he's in. For example, Pale Sky. Go watch that interview. It was a great time. Shout outs to Ben. Big love to Ben. Shout outs. I don't know if you watch this, but love you. And then Living Machines, if you're into just some sick metal. And they also do like comic book stuff along with the sick releases. My God, like this man does it all. So go give
This man needs a nap.
This man does not need another band. So do not ask him. Do not egg him on to do a fourth band. This is coming from myself. And
It would seriously hurt my marriage. I can't afford it.
And I'm pretty sure I just got a notification from PayPal that his wife sent me money so that I would say this live, so they wouldn't do it. So
I will pay you to talk him off that ledge.
But anyway, again, go check out Mylo Quinn. Huge
Thanks for
to
having me,
Quinn for
man.
coming
I
on,
appreciate
man.
it.
All right, guys. Love ya. Make sure you check it out Wednesday. I'm doing another one of these with When the Clock Strikes. Great band from Oklahoma. Be on the lookout for that. They're doing. I haven't listened to the record. Again, I know you all don't believe me, but I have not listened to it. So be excited for reactions aplenty. It's going to be awesome. Very excited about that one. And if you guys want to come on to do a live track by track, much like this one, feel free to message me. Would love to have you on. And again, Quinn, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Goodbye, Internet. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Be well.
All right, sir.